What do you think these photos have in common? Is it that it seems like a place vaguely familiar to you? Unsettlingly devoid of people that would usually inhabit these spaces. I'm sure if you've been around the media for a few years now, you would be familiar with the phrase liminal space. It is often used to describe an area that is transitional. Many people would say that these are areas that are roughly familiar to us. It is as if our brains are associating memories to places we have never been to. What do you think makes these images unsettling? Is it that it's eerily quiet? Like our brain is so used to these places being roamed by people, but now it's empty? Liminality has been quickly on the rise the last couple years. Its popularity led to its creation of creepypasta, personal stories, and even video games. Speaking of video games, have you heard of the game No Players Online? This indie horror game replicates the liminality of old 90s games. Older games like Silent Hill. Classic games like this cover liminality perfectly without even purposely doing it. Anyways, the premise of No Players Online is the meaning of autophobia. Everything about it is liminal. We expect the game to be filled with players running around. The feeling that the area you walked used to be a place where people made memories and roamed. But it's just you. No players are online. This is where the fear of loneliness comes from. The feeling and suspense that there should be others around. The feeling is hardwired into our brains from the day we are born. Either you want to believe it or not, but us as people need others to survive. Does it seem quite dark in here? What if someone jumped out of there? Or there? But it's nothing. You're perfectly safe, but your mind just makes you feel extremely anxious when you're in situations like this. Or did my voice relieve that anxiety because you didn't feel alone? Even if you know it or not, you have autophobia in spaces like this. You are not alone in experiencing this feeling. It's an instinct part of our human condition. The fear of being alone, of isolation, has been ingrained in us for survival. Look at these images again. The empty hallways, the vacant playgrounds, the deserted streets. Places that should be filled with life. When they're empty, it stirs something deep within us. The absence of what should be there is what makes them so unsettling. Autophobia isn't just about physical loneliness. It's the fear of emotional and social isolation. In our hyper-connected world, this fear can feel even more acute. The void left by missing interaction and validation can be profoundly disturbing. The contrast here is stark. On one side, there's life, warmth, and even sound. On the other side, silence and darkness. Our minds seek safety in the presence of others. But what happens when that presence is gone? We are social creatures, but this intrinsic need for connection can amplify the horror of isolation. Imagine the bustling city streets now empty, the laughter of children in a park now silent. These connections we take for granted can turn into haunting memories. Imagine walking down this dark street again, but this time, there's no one by your side. The fear, the anxiety, it all intensifies. The shadows seem darker, the silence more deafening. This is the chilling reality of true isolation. The next time you find yourself in a liminal space, remember, It's not just the emptiness that makes it unsettling. It's the absence of what should be there. The eerie silence that replaces the expected noise. This fear of being alone, this autophobia, taps into our deepest anxieties. It's a reminder of how isolation can warp our perception, turning the familiar into the terrifying. If you made it to this point of the video, I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for taking the time out of your day to watch me. Since you're here, you might as well click that subscribe button and like this video. I'll be back with another video next week.